So in this video, we talk about the addressing or address modes of the ISA. So addressing modes specify where an operand is located. They can be specified a constant, a register, or a memory location. The actual location of an operand is its effective address. So certain addressing modes allow us to determine the address of an operand dynamically. The first type of addressing mode is the immediate addressing. It's where the data is a part of the instruction. The second type, that's the direct addressing, is where the address of the data is given in the instruction. The third type of addressing mode, that the register addressing, is where the data is located in a register. The next type of addressing is that the indirect addressing. So in this addressing mode, the instruction gives the address of the data in the instruction. This got a little bit confused, but we can show it through an example later on. The last one, that's a register indirect addressing. So in this mode, it uses a register to store the address of the data. The index addressing uses a register. This is implicitly or explicitly as an offset, so which is added to the address of the operand to determine the effective address of the data. We'll show through an example how the indexing address can be carried out. Base addressing is similar, except that a base register is used instead of an index register. The difference between the two is that an index register holds an effective relative to the address given in the instruction, whereas a base register holds a base address where the address field represents a displacement from this base. Also, we have the stack addressing. So in stack addressing, the operand is assumed to be on top of the stack. And there are many variations to the addressing modes, including indirect index, base offset, self-relative, auto-increment, or decrement. And in this lecture, we won't cover all the addressing mode in detail. So let's see an example how the different addressing mode work and how the data gonna be loaded into the register. So for example, we have a memory with different address from 800, 900, 1000, 1000, 100, and 1600. The content stored in the memory gonna be 900, 1000, 500, 600, and 700. And actually here to denote the hexadecimal value. We also have the register R1 that with the value is the 800 in hexadecimal. So the question is when we perform the load 800 instruction, what the value gonna be loaded into the accumulator. Okay, so here the table we want to fill it in. Have the different mode: immediate, direct, indirect, and index mode. And with this instruction, we wonder what is the value gonna be loaded into the accumulator AC. So here the value will be loaded into the accumulator AC based on different kind of addressing modes. So the first mode is the immediate addressing mode. So in this in this mode, the operand value is represented in the instruction. That's the direct value. So when we say that load 800 and in the immediate addressing mode, so the value 800 is mean the value gonna be loaded into the AC. So we have the value of the AC gonna be 800 right here. On the other hand, if we use the direct addressing mode, the effective address of the operand is in the address field. So we say load 800 is mean this is the address in the memory where the data gonna be loaded. So when you see that the address 800 right here in the memory have the content of 900, so this value gonna be loaded into the AC. So using the direct addressing, the content at this address gonna be loaded into the AC, so that's like 900. On the other hand, um, the indirect mode, the register contains the address of actual operand. So in this one, let's get a pointer, so we can see that the load 800 is like the pointer where we go into the address of the 800 and we find the content of this one, that the pointer point to the next address of right here, that's a 900, and we're gonna access to the address at 900 to load the content in there to the AC. So the value of 1000 gonna be loaded into the AC in the indirect addressing mode. Okay. The last one, that's the index. So in the index, the effective address of operand generated by adding the value in address field to the content of register. So in this addressing mode, we gonna assume the register we use as the register R1 right here. So the address, the effective address gonna be the value of the instruction right here. Gonna add with the content of the register. So 800 plus 800, we have 1600. That's the effective address. So we look at the memory. That's the effective address right here. That's gonna be 1600, and the value of this address gonna be loaded into the AC. So that's gonna be 700 in this the index addressing mode. All right. So we can see that there's a different way to load the data. The immediate addressing is fast because of the value to be loaded is included in the instruction. However, because the value to be loaded is fixed and at compile time is not very flexible. On the other hand, the direct addressing is typically is quite fast because although the value to be loaded is not included in the instruction, this is a pretty quick, accessible, and it's also much more flexible than the immediate addressing mode because the value to be loaded is whatever file at the given address, so which is could be a variables. Um, on the other hand, the indirect addressing is a very powerful addressing mode that provides an exceptional level of flexibility because in this mode, the bit in the address field specify a memory address that is to be used as a pointer, and the effective address of the operand is found by going to this memory address. The last one, that's the index addressing. So that's use the register either explicitly or implicitly to store an offset address, so which is added to the operand, and we can file by adding it to the effective address by adding the operand value to the value in the register. So this method also very flexible.